Becky Lynch and Bayley's feud just got even more personal, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out some more Jey Uso related theories and more. Let's start things off with another Jey Uso theory, because this could be another potential route that they could touch on. So, Jey Uso appears to be questioning Roman Reigns' leadership once again, following the events of Royal Rumble. Jey Uso had come around and was Sami Zayn's biggest supporter in that final week, leading up to Royal Rumble. Jey Uso took a stand during the trial when he really didn't have to. He could have stayed quiet and let Roman do whatever Roman wants to do to Sami. But Jey didn't do that at all. He stood up, physically stopped Solo Sikoa, and basically spoke out against what Roman Reigns was ordering, in order to defend an outsider like Sami Zayn. So even looking back at that moment now, it still plays a significant role and shows that Jey Uso maybe isn't as fully afraid of Roman Reigns as he once was. Have this same trial situation play out in late 2020, early 2021, and Jey Uso probably stays nice and quiet in his chair because he was well under control. But like we saw with that segment a few weeks ago, Jey Uso is not scared of going against what Roman says anymore. Another example of Jey not being afraid took place literally 4 days after the trial. Roman's direct orders to Sami Zayn was for him to not appear on the Smackdown before Royal Rumble. Sami was outside the arena greeting the Usos before the show started, but he walked away and didn't enter the arena because he was following Roman's orders. But later in the night, when the Usos get kicked out before Solo Sikoa's match, what does Jey Uso do? Jey picks up the phone, knowing well what Roman's orders for Sami were, and still asks Sami Zayn to show up to SmackDown to back up Solo Sikoa. And maybe at this time, you can argue that maybe Jey was trying to purposely set Sami Zayn up to get in trouble. But that actually wasn't the case. That was just Jey having the ultimate trust in Sami Zayn backing up his younger brother. And he made that call to Sami knowing very well that what he was asking for was directly against what Roman Reigns said. But it looks like Jey was willing to accept the risk because he's not fully seeing eye to eye with Roman's leadership. Jey obviously didn't agree with Sami being sent away for the SmackDown before Royal Rumble, when the Bloodline obviously needed his help. So even before Jey's walkout took place, you can just see how those two big instances earlier in the same week, that was already heavy foreshadowing Jey's walkout and disagreements with Roman Reigns. Jey didn't agree with Roman wanting to attack Sami during the trial. He didn't agree with Sami not being allowed to be on the SmackDown before Royal Rumble. And he most definitely didn't agree with Sami being taken out at Royal Rumble. So you can take all three of those instances, along with all of Jey's previous issues with Roman Reigns, and that equals Jey's walkout. Obviously, given the magnitude of Jey's walkout at Royal Rumble, he's not just going to randomly pop up in the Bloodline and everything will be okay again. It looks like Jey will need to slowly be brought back into the Bloodline over time. Sure, Jey walked out, said that he's out, and even challenged Roman Reigns to a match on his Instagram. But it just looks like Jey has to come back to the Bloodline because of another big reason: the tag team titles. The Usos have been SmackDown Tag Team Champions since July 2021, and they've been undisputed Tag Team Champions since 2022. So Jey just can't leave the weight of the tag team titles on Jimmy's shoulders like that. However, what did the 30th anniversary of Raw show us? It showed us that Adam Pearce and WWE are willing to allow the Bloodline to use free bird rule, meaning that any combination of two Bloodline members are able to defend the tag team titles. We saw that when Jimmy Uso went down, Sami Zayn stepped in and defended the tag team titles because of that rule, and because of Adam Pearce clearing it. So if Jey Uso is going to extend his walkout for a few weeks, Roman Reigns can shrug it off and have Solo Sikoa team up with Jimmy Uso to defend the tag team titles. We previously talked about how Solo Sikoa pretty much took that right-hand man spot away from Jey Uso. So it'll be really insane if Roman quite literally replaced Jey with Solo, for the tag team title reign. So in terms of leverage, maybe that's one of the best things that Roman has over Jey right now. Just come back and continue your tag team title reign, or we're moving along without you and leaving you to be irrelevant. So assuming that Jey has his own big babyface turn coming up in the future, he can't just give up a title and walk away. That's not going to solve anything. Like Sami Zayn has exposed, and like we've been talking about, the best way to get the best shot at Roman Reigns is to get as close to him as possible. So if Jey really wants to take down Roman's empire, he has to suck it up and go back in the bloodline and basically fake his happiness. He's got to go in there and break it from within. That seems to be the only way of bringing down Roman and the bloodline. If Jey just faces the bloodline head on, it's 3-on-1. He'll be outnumbered. Some fans are suggesting the idea of Jey teaming up with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But it doesn't look like Jey wants to beat down his brothers. Jey's issues are mostly with Roman. That's why the best choice for him is to go back into the bloodline, try to break Jimmy and Solo out of Roman's brainwash, and take away that power from Roman. If Jey's able to break out Solo and Jimmy and save them, it'll pretty much be over for Roman at that point. So that's what's really at stake right now. Jey Uso will likely return and keep that tag team title reign going. But who knows? Maybe his big babyface turning moment will be giving up the titles and leaving Jimmy alone to get defeated by a team like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, for example. Jey would basically be handing over the tag team titles to Sami and Kevin, all while breaking down the bloodline even more at that point. So we'll see what ends up happening here, but it looks like the future of the bloodline could rest in Jey's hands after all. Becky and Bayley's feud has been going on for a few months now, and one of the main little criticisms that fans were discussing was that for it being a feud with two of the horsewomen, it just didn't feel that deep and personal enough. Damage Control attacked Becky and wrote her off after SummerSlam, we get that. But there was just something missing. Well, it looks like WWE found a way to make it a bit more personal. They're now throwing Seth Rollins' name into the mix. Bayley dropped the big line that Seth Rollins only married Becky because she was pregnant. Then Becky continued the conversation on Twitter by digging up some old pictures she found of Bayley's arms being around Seth Rollins, with a caption of, "I guess it's not just my spot she's after." Bayley then responded by posting a bunch of pictures of herself and Seth Rollins across all her social medias. So it was a great attempt by WWE to make this feud feel even more personal by adding Seth Rollins into the fold. You just had the whole steel cage match canceled from Raw 30 that basically added more discussion to the feud as well. So Bayley and Becky's feud is getting back on track and feels more personal than ever. It's rare to see non-title feuds in the women's division, but Bayley and Becky have been putting on a great show, even with no titles being involved at all. So we'll see where Becky Lynch and Bayley's story goes next, and if it'll get even more intense along the way. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.